Hey, what's up? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 5 tips and tricks for DIYers, and then I also have 5 tips for new detailers, and I have, on top of that, I'm also going to be adding on my 5 most favorite tools in the detailing game and some products as well. So 555, trip 5 on this one. So I'm going to be starting out, the DIYers. Okay, so my number one tip for DIYers, do-it-yourselfers, people at home, weekend warriors, people that just want to clean their car in their own driveway and do a little bit of a detail. So the number one piece of advice that I can give for you, the first piece of advice that I can give is take your time. So a lot of people might not understand this, but there's a difference between just a car wash and detailing. So the big difference between a car wash and a detail is that car washing is quick and detailing takes a very long time, and you do a really good job and you get the vehicle as close to like new as possible. And the biggest factor in something like that is taking your time. All of my details take me an extraordinary long amount of time. There's really no way that I can speed up the process any faster. Maybe there are some things, I haven't figured them out, but I'm working on it and I'll be getting there. But if you have a really dirty vehicle, it's going to take a really long time to do a proper detail on a super dirty vehicle. And sometimes you can't even just look at a vehicle and know how long it's going to take. I still look at vehicles and misjudge how long it's going to take me to do that detail. It's a huge disaster. So my number one tip is take your time and plan for that accordingly. If you think cleaning out your car is just going to take 30 minutes to an hour, schedule in 4 to 6 hours, and then maybe you might have a good start at what a detail should actually look like on your vehicle and how long that's going to take. So if you think cleaning your car is just going to take an hour or something and you want more of a professional detail sort of result, just know that it's probably going to take you at home at least 6 hours to do a detail, a really high quality detail on your vehicle. Doesn't matter how clean it is. Even if it's super clean, it can still take 6 hours. So moving on, the next tip that I have, and we're just at number 2 here, is just using basic tools. You really don't need the fancy tools. Even in high level detailing, I love my fancy tools, but I could absolutely detail without the fancy tools. It's just how you use the tools to get the best results possible. And what I mean by basic tools for completing a detail, all you really need is a quality vacuum, some brushes, you could even use a toothbrush, and some microfibers. If you don't have microfibers, then maybe you can use just a bunch of normal dish towels, but there is a big difference between microfibers and dish towels. Microfibers really grab dirt off of surfaces and just help you clean things a lot better than a dish towel or paper towel. So having those basic tools is really going to step you up. So you just need a quality vacuum, a quality shop vac, ideally, some brushes or a toothbrush, a couple of toothbrushes that you can get into the cracks and crevices, and a quality microfiber. That's really going to step up your detailing game tremendously. The brushes are really important. Even if you want to use something like a toothbrush, those brushes are important so that you can get into the cracks and the crevices, like in between all the little buttons on, maybe the door or on the center console or in the air vents. Those brushes are going to help you get in those tight areas, and it's really going to transform your vehicle, really make the difference between just a quick car wash and a detail, is getting in those cracks and crevices with brushes. So my number 3 tip for DIYers is to clean all areas thoroughly. And what I mean by that is I detail professionally every day, and I still at this point can't clean an area once and have it come out perfect. A lot of the times, especially since I deal with really dirty, abused and neglected vehicles, is that I often need to clean areas multiple times, 2, 3, 4, and even more times. Ideally, I don't really like cleaning areas more than 4 times unless I'm getting paid for it or the customer knows that it's going to take that long. But Yeah, make sure you clean all the areas multiple times. That's the difference between a detail and a car wash. A detailer is going to clean something over and over and over until it's as clean as it's going to get without damaging anything. So that's my number 3 tip, is to clean all areas thoroughly. And that may mean having to clean it multiple times, you know. If you want to do a detail, just know that you're going to have to clean things 3 times. That even goes with things like the front windshield or any piece of glass in the vehicle. Still to this day, myself, I can't even clean glass in 1 step. I usually do 2 steps on glass, and if I'm worried about it coming out a little splotchy, then I'll just go ahead and do 3 steps on glass anyway. So that's my number 3 tip for DIYers, is to clean all areas thoroughly. So my number 4 tip for DIYers is to find the proper cleaning products for yourself. I don't know what those are. Those can be anything. You're just going to have to figure that out. And basically that means get anything you can to clean your vehicle that's not going to damage your vehicle. And to put it really simply, if you can't get anything and it's not in the budget, water is good enough and will go a long ways. Water is a great cleaner. It's basically, what do they say? It's the universal cleaner or something like that. I probably got that wrong. But anyway, even to this day in my detailing business, I'm thinking in my head, do I really even need all these cleaning products? Maybe I can just get away with water. And that's absolutely true. If I was cleaning super clean vehicles, then water would be more than enough. Just in case maybe that's not good enough for you, you're not happy with that, hearing me say water, so I'll just list off a couple things off the top of my head. You can just use dish soap. Now, a lot of people are going to hate on that, but this is for DIYers trying to clean their vehicles at home on a budget. So you can just use dish soap. Make sure it's a gentle dish soap, and then mix it really mild, super mild, so you don't damage anything. Dish soap should work really well, but professionals don't use dish soap because dish soap is a nightmare in the detailing industry and nobody likes it. And if you're not content with, some dish soap, Dawn dish soap, then I'll just throw a couple of products at you guys quickly if you want to run out and buy some detailing products to clean your car. So my top 2 detailing products for cleaning the interior would be P&S Express Interior Cleaner and 3D Orange Degreaser. Those chemicals are going to get you through basically every single detail, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like I said, this is for DIYers. Try it out with water, try it out with a little dish soap. You should see some pretty good results. As long as you're putting in the effort, you're going to see really great results on those basic cleaners. Now, for stuff like some homemade recipes like vinegar and lemon juice, I don't really know too much about that, and I would say you're probably a lot safer just using plain water than making your own homemade concoction. If you do want to make your own homemade concoction, just try the dish soap. All right, there. I'm going to move on because I think I've thoroughly upset some of the real true detailers out there, but it's true. You can clean stuff with just water and dish soap. Be careful on that. Don't be washing the exterior of your car with dish soap. I'm talking about the interior. All right, so my final tip for DIYers, and it's the absolute best one, I saved it for last, and that is to have fun. So my number 5 tip, 5th tip, is to have fun. Basically, all detailers, I'm going to say, that have chosen to be detailers or run a detail shop enjoy cleaning vehicles to a certain degree. That's why they started doing it. And I got to say, it is a lot of fun, and just to make sure you have fun during your detail, because the more fun you're having, the more you're going to clean and the better your car is going to look. So I wouldn't stress too much about anything and just, chill. Have some fun, put on some music, clean your car in your garage. If you don't have a garage, clean it out in the driveway, and just to have fun. Because that used to be like an American pastime, is to clean your car with the family or whatever. But I think that sort of pastime is kind of getting lost in today's busy society and always hiring out people to do everything so that you can focus more on your own job, whatever that may be. But if you are interested in detailing your car as a DIYer, do-it-yourself, or just make sure to have fun. The more fun you're having on your detail, the cleaner your car is going to look, the more time you're going to spend, the less of a chore it's going to feel like. So that's the upside to just having fun. You're going to enjoy it. You'll be proud of your work when you're done, and your neighbors or your friends will get to see how clean your car is, and you can say, I did it myself and it was fun. So there's my top 5 tips for DIYers, and I'm going to move on to the next top 5 tips for new detailers who want to detail as a business. Okay, so here's where it's going to start to get juicy. The next top 5 tips I have are for new detailers, people who are interested in detailing as a business and possibly turning this detailing thing into a career. And these top 5 tips are really going to help you progress in the beginning stages of your detailing journey. So my first tip for new detailers is to become more efficient. That might not be something that you're going to be thinking about in the early stages, maybe your first 1 or 2 details, but you'll notice it after a few details. You'll end up spending way too much time on a client's vehicle, not charge enough money, and then at the end of the day you'll be like, what just happened? I spent 8 to 12 hours on this vehicle. I didn't charge enough money for the 8 to 12 hours, and I'm not even sure it looked good because I had to give the car back. The customer was getting upset I had their car for too long. So with becoming more efficient, it's just going to take time. You're going to have to get those reps in every single detail. I've detailed a couple hundred vehicles at this time, and I'm still thinking to myself, how can I be more efficient? Am I doing these things right? And I'm always looking at what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and I make YouTube videos, so I watch myself detail. It's something that I struggle with, and I always pick apart my work and try to figure out the best way, and it's just going to take you some time to become more efficient. But basically you're just going to want to look at what the customer wants and how you can do it as fast as possible. And you'll notice after you detail a few vehicles, you'll say, oh, I don't like leaving the car wash, the exterior car wash, for the end because of these reasons, or I want to do the exterior car wash at the end for these reasons, and etc., etc. You're just going to have to find a way to do all of your work and make sure it flows and not go back and forth too much. And that's something I'm still learning on doing currently myself. And it's kind of changing, especially from detailing out in the driveway to detailing in the shop. They're sort of different. And I've kind of flip-flopped my style and my process around a little bit because detailing in the driveway is different than detailing inside of a shop. So I don't really have any one single point that I can explain to you how you can become more efficient. You're just going to have to get those reps in and play around with different things and constantly experiment what is going to work best. And I'll just quickly tell you right now how I am more efficient in my shop. The shop might be different than a driveway, so just keep that in mind. So since I started detailing in the shop, I noticed that I really like to clean the vehicles first. In the driveway, it was backwards. I like to clean the vehicles at the end because who knows what happens when you're out in the driveway. A dust storm could kick up and dust out the entire vehicle if you wash the vehicle first. And then during your detail, since a detail can take easily 1 to 4 hours to complete for a person, if not longer. If you wash the car in the beginning, dust can dust out the exterior of the car, and then you hand back the vehicle to the customer and it's all dirty. And that's not cool. So now that I'm in the shop, I start out with the exterior, but I don't just start out with the exterior. I do the floor mats, and the floor mats are really important to do first because sometimes you neglect them and leave them for last. And then at the very end, the last thing you want to do is the floor mats because they're quite dirty. And if they're carpet, they won't be dry. So I do floor mats, door jambs, the exterior, then I vacuum, then I shampoo, and then I do all my plastic and leather cleaning and hit up the cracks and the crevices. And then I do glass. And then after the glass is done, I vacuum for the very last time. Just a quick vacuum. Because sometimes when you're working in the vehicle, you kick up sand and dust and it's just inevitable. You're gonna have to vacuum a really quick vacuum right before you hand the vehicle back to a customer. Something that I notice is really important if you're doing leather and the customer wants a leather conditioner, I do the leather conditioner absolutely last, even after the final vacuum, because the leather conditioner needs to go on there a certain way, and you put it on and then you need to let it sit for a bit, and you come back and you knock it down with a clean dry microfiber. If you don't leave the leather for last and you condition the leather and then you begin to work in the vehicle after you've conditioned the leather, you can make it look a little bit splotchy, so there's something to think about that. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Spent way too much time talking about this. So the number 2 tip that I have for new detailers is to upgrade your tools. So it's really important to upgrade your tools. You're running a business, you're making money, you should be spending money on the business constantly so that your business can grow and evolve, and then basically you can just become more efficient, do higher, better quality work over time. You do a detail, you maybe keep some of the money or whatever. I don't know how you're going to run your business, but you do a detail, you make money, you keep some, you spend some on tools and products, and you move on. You just keep doing that cycle over and over and over, and eventually you just keep building up better and better and better tools over time, and then hopefully at some point you have these great tools that you can achieve really high level results in the shortest amount of time. That's the overall goal in my eyes. In other people's eyes it could be different. Some people might want to do the highest quality work with the absolute most basic tools because they don't want to spend money on those tools, but I think it's important to spend a lot of money on good tools that can speed up your work, increase the quality of your work as much as possible with detailing, because it is just detailing after all. That's another discussion on its own, but yeah. So buying better tools is important over time. I think that you got to be careful with this. It is important to save money and keep money in the business or in your pocket, whatever way you're set up, but that is important. And it's important that you are cautious of not saving too much money, because that can get you trapped in a one-man show or not being able to do enough details per day, and etc., etc. So you got to be careful with that and just be mindful of that. Spend money on the business, don't spend too much, and then don't save too much. It's a fine line, balance it all out. So upgrade your tools, that's tip number 2. So tip number 3 for new detailers is to use fewer products. And I'm gonna say this cautiously because I'm probably gonna catch a lot of flack, because it goes both ways, but just be very mindful of not buying too many products, because myself personally, I don't really need very many products to complete a detail. As time goes on, I'm actually finding out that I need fewer and fewer products, but I do hope that changes in the future. I hope that I get clients that want really specific things, so then I will need more products, but just to do a really high quality detail on a vehicle, you don't really need very many products. And what I mean by products is the actual cleaning products that you use to detail a vehicle or protect a vehicle. So it's really important early on in your detailing business to figure out what chemicals work for you and to just stick with those chemicals and not spend too much money trying this product and that product and this product and that product, because I'm not going to say a lot of them are all the same thing, but a lot of them really are the same thing. Some do work better than others. I've got my products that I like, and I will share them at the very end of the video with you guys. Also, something that I've noticed that's really important is when I first started, I did have quite a few different chemicals and I had a bunch of different spray bottles and stuff. And over time, I found that I really just like 1 to 2 products for cleaning the interiors of vehicles. I must say it is pretty nice just to have one dedicated interior cleaner, and that's it. You don't have to think about grabbing this bottle or that bottle or refilling it and refilling that one, refilling this one, refilling that one. That type of stuff, it adds up after a while. It'll slow you down. That's tip number 3, is use fewer products. Just find the right ones that work for you. You'll know it when you get them. But figure that out soon. And I'll talk about it more at the end. Tip number 4 for new detailers is to keep learning. Even myself, I'm always trying to learn. Even I'm making a video right now on how to detail basically, but I'm still learning. I've got a lot to learn. I'm pretty new in the game, but I'm trying to learn as quick as possible. It just takes time. That's a pretty big tip. It's just to keep learning. You know, we're humans. We should always be learning, trying to advance, your skill set. And the major way of doing that is by learning, getting out there and trying things out, and getting on YouTube and researching things as well, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be someone out there on YouTube that has done something that you're interested in doing, and all you have to do is go on YouTube and spend the time and watch them do it and think about it a lot before you actually do something on a customer's vehicle. That's the last thing you want to do, is wreck something. You're trying something out new and then wreck something on a client's vehicle. So yeah, keep learning. Even if it's just something as simple as how to clean this or how to clean that, the best way to get in cracks and crevices. This all sounds like really simple stuff, but it's really important to learn it. And just because you think that you know the best way to do something now, it might not be the actual best way for you to do something in the future. You might figure out something different. Things are always changing. Like with myself, things are always changing. And I'm always thinking, second guessing myself, which sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. You can second guess yourself to yourself, but don't ever second guess yourself in front of other people. How about that? So the biggest things that I want to learn right now myself is just how to go faster, because time is money in detailing. I'm interested in learning in paint polishing, and also I want to learn more about doing wraps and tints. A really close friend of mine wants me to wrap their vehicle, so I might try doing that soon. But yeah, just keep learning. That's tip number 4. All right, so tip number 5 for new detailers is having a process. And I saved this one last on the top 5 because it's so important. Now that I've been detailing for a while, I've noticed that I have a process, and I always work on the process, and I may tweak it here and there, but it's pretty rigid. So when I get in a certain vehicle and it's dirty in a certain way and a customer asks, let's just say they want a full inside and out, I know exactly what I'm going to do because I have a process. I pull the vehicle in, I pull the floor mats out, I clean the door jambs, I put degreaser on the floor mats so they have time to dwell. I clean the door jambs out. I wash the exterior. I come back and I do a thorough cleaning on the floor mats, get them dry, put them to the side, let them dry. Finish cleaning the exterior of the vehicle or do the engine bay if they want the engine. I did say full detail, so I guess they would want the engine. Then after the exterior is completely dry, then I move on to the interior. Then what do I do first on the interior? I vacuum the floor all the way around the entire vehicle. And then I shampoo the vehicle all the way around, whatever needs to be shampooed. The seats, the headliner, the carpet floors. Not the floor mats because I did the floor mats already. And then after that, I do all the plastics. And then if there's leather seats, and then I do the leather seats the same time I do all the plastics all the way around the vehicle. And then after that's done, then I do the glass cleaning, and then after that's done, then I'll put on the plastic dressing, and then since the vehicle now it's super clean, there's basically nothing left to do, I'll do the glass. And then now that the glass is done, then I do my final vacuum. And if it has leather seats, after the final vacuum, I do the leather conditioner, and that's my process. So what did I say? How does it go? It goes floor mats, door jambs, exterior, engine bay, vacuum, shampoo, plastics, leather seats, glass, vacuum, and then condition leather seats, and then it's done. So that's my process, and it's the same every single time, and you want it to be the same every single time, like super monotonous. And that sounds bad, but in detailing and getting people in and out and doing a really good job, and time is money in detailing, monotonous is good because that means you're doing it exactly the same and you're not gonna be stumbling around looking for things or confused on what to do because you have that process. And it shouldn't be monotonous. Even though you have a process that sounds monotonous, it's not gonna be monotonous because you enjoy detailing, and at the very end you're chasing the results. For me anyway, I really enjoy that transformation of a dirty vehicle to a clean vehicle, and then looking at it and being like, yep, that looks great, I did that. And then of course the customer is super happy since you spent a lot of time and you did everything the proper way and their vehicle looks completely different. The customer is going to be super happy. So your process, it should be monotonous. That sounds horrible, but you're chasing the results, the transformation from before to after. That makes you feel good and happy as a detailer. The customer is happy. They tell you thank you, you did a great job. Then it makes you feel even more happy. So that's my top 5 tips for new detailers. I hope that helps you guys out. Good luck on your journey. It's going to be a wild ride, and you'll figure out pretty quickly whether you like detailing or not. So I changed my plans a little bit. I was going to do top 5 tools and products, but I really don't have a top 5. I'm just going to show you guys everything that I use and why I use it. So the number one thing that I can really recommend for a detailer to step their game up is an air compressor. And this is the air compressor that I use. You can see the stats on it here. 4 SCFM at 90 PSI. And this Husky air compressor, it's really good. I recently bought a different air compressor and returned it because this one is so much better. I don't want to knock any brands or anything like that because I really don't like doing that. But I bought that air compressor that basically every mobile detailer uses because it says it has 5.1 SCFM. I'm not going to say the brand by name, but the brand is the same as this one right here. It's the brand that starts with R and orange. Their air compressor, I bought it because I thought I wanted something a little bit more powerful, and that one says 5 SCFM, and this is the most important number on an air compressor. It's not how big the tank is, it's how much air your air compressor can make. So if you're using tools like this Tornador Max with Velocity, you're going to use a lot of air, and this air compressor can handle this tool. And then that orange air compressor that all the mobile detailers are using could not handle this tool, and I returned it. I thought this Husky air compressor was pretty mid. I thought it was good. I know it's good, but I thought it was kind of mid, and that orange one would be a lot better. That's not the case. Moving on. This is my next favorite tool right here. This is my shampooer. It's the Mighty 8070 heated extractor. A lot of people ask me about the extractor head that I use. This is the original one. This one comes with the machine. It's really nice. It has a clear viewing tube there. Very nice for YouTube videos. I want to use it. This one is really good for extremely dirty vehicles and getting in tight cracks and crevices. But this one here, it leaves your vehicle fabric surfaces very, very wet. And it's very hard to have them dry the same day for the customer, especially if it's cold out, such as winter. So if you're using something like this and it's winter, you're gonna have to hold your customer's vehicle overnight or turn their vehicle on and blast the heat from the HVAC system in the vehicle for a couple hours if you use something like this. This is the one that I prefer more, but it's hard to say. This is called the Super GT extractor head. It's kind of expensive. It comes with a lot of hose, and you can twist this thing 360 an infinite amount of times. It's just kind of buggered. It's just kind of jammed up right now because I only have one hand, but it's free spinning, and this thing sprays water. It sprays water out of these little holes here, and it uses a lot of water, but it leaves your fabrics very, very dry at the end. This is the steam extractor that I use. I don't ever show it, and I barely ever use it. I use it 1 out of every 10 details because I can get by without using a steam cleaner. The brand is Dupre, and it's called the Super Carmen Enox 240 volt steam cleaner, steam extractor, very good steam extractor. But yeah, steam, I don't really like steam for detailing. It leaves things too wet. It leaves the plastics too wet for me, so that's why I almost never use it. But I do have to give Dupre a shout out for their degreaser. This is their version of degreaser. It goes into the steam cleaner. You have one tank here where you can shoot boiling hot degreaser. And you have another tank here just for water. It's you can always top it up at any time during the detail. And it's 240 volts, so it's super powerful. It gets hot very quickly, and it also vacuums and extracts at the same time with different attachments. But anyway, this degreaser made by Dupre, it's called BioVap. It's incredibly powerful. This is the most powerful degreaser I've ever seen, and it's very, very gentle. That being said, it's pretty expensive, and I rarely ever use it. Here's another tool that sometimes I use, but not really. It's an ultrasonic cleaner, so it uses sound to clean stuff. So I use this for cup holder inserts. And then at the beginning of a detail, I just throw all the cup holder inserts in there and let them dwell in there, and then I push on and off on this thing. I thought I'd use this more than I do, but I don't. I kind of do use it all the time, but it's kind of a pain because changing the water out, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So my favorite detailing brushes here are these ones. They're nylon, they're kind of long, they're kind of firm. You can push kind of hard and dig stuff out. That's great. This one here, it's a metal. I like this little brush here. This is a wire brush. I use this on pedals that can handle this type of abrasion. Basically, this is the only way to get rubber, gas, and brake pedals clean is with a metal brush like that. And then I use this pick here for all kinds of areas. This is my favorite brush for tires. This type of brush is really important for tires. It will change your tire game up tremendously. So check this type of brush out. And then this is another great brush that I like. It's the Chemical Guys green brush. It should be safe on paint. I use this for grills, door jambs, floor mats, engine bays. And nothing special, doesn't really matter what brand of drill you have, but drill brush, it's really important. You're gonna want the cone and you're gonna want the flat one. And if you wanna know anything about drill brush attachments, the white ones are soft, and then the colored ones are a lot more coarse. I think black is the hardest one, but this one's really soft. Use this on expensive vehicles where you're scared of damaging stuff, but at the end of the day, the white ones are just too soft for really dirty vehicles. You need something like this, which is firmer, to really get rid of nasty dirt. And then I like this air tool here. You can get these types of air tools at any auto parts store or hardware store or anything like that. This is far superior to a Tornador, a regular style Tornador, or rag company Cyclone air blaster. These are way better for getting in between the seats, and it just has a more concentrated blast of air, and it can really clean out things cleaner than that Tornador style of cleaning. That being said, this is a Tornador Max with the velocity attachment. This is the velocity attachment here. This is the Tornador Max here. And it has that Cyclone style blaster, but this is also, I use this for vacuuming too. So this is basically one of my most favorite tools right here. And it works excellent at sand. Good and great at dog hair, but not at dog hair that's been neglected for years and years. Because dog hair that's been pounded into fabrics, neglected for years and years, becomes woven into the fabrics, and it's almost impossible to remove that. This tool here, this is for dog hair, and it's just a rubber brush. Basically, rubber brushes are the best for dog hair. Those metal brushes are pretty sus. They're gonna damage the fabrics, tear the fabrics up, lift the fabrics, and you don't wanna do that to customers' vehicles. I like this tool because it's rubber. It has 5 sides. You can see here over time, these rubber pet hair brushes, they erode like a pencil eraser. So one that has 5 sides like this may possibly last longer. You can just switch sides. And I bought a 3-pack of these, and I'm still on my original 3-pack a year and a half later, detailing every single day. So yeah, I probably need a new 3-pack soon. But anyway, this is my favorite wash mitt. It's the Chemical Guys wash mitt. I don't care about any of those guys that hate on Chemical Guys. Some of their actual tools are really fine, like this. Such as this Chemical Guys brush. It's just a good brush. You can't say that that isn't a good brush, and this is just a good microfiber wash mitt. I really like it because the color, I like green, so that's basically the main reason why I picked that one. Favorite tool here is my 3M respirator. I use this whenever I spray chems, because chems get into the air and you don't want to be breathing that in, so use a real high quality respirator that's made for volatile chemicals such as a paint respirator. I feel comfortable using this paint respirator with detailing chemicals. And inside of this cartridge here is, I believe it's charcoal. So the charcoal basically filters out all the chemicals. I'm gonna start off here. My first favorite chemical here is one that I make, and this is the product that I use for neutralizing carpet cleaners in carpets. And this here is an actual machine. It has a metal plate in there that does electrolysis. So this makes a product that's called hypochlorous acid. It's basically like household bleach, but it's non-toxic and safe for human skin and consumption. So this is a very safe product to be using on the inside of vehicles to neutralize chemicals, and it is an oxidizer just like hydrogen peroxide. Except I make this myself, so I don't have to buy a product from a company constantly. I just have this machine, and to make the chlorine, you only need these 2 ingredients here. This is sea salt, all natural sea salt, nothing, and then you have vinegar here. So you add water, vinegar, and sea salt to this electrolysis machine, and that makes chlorine, which I then use to neutralize high alkaline cleaners in carpets and fabrics. And basically the only two other cleaners that I use on the inside of vehicles are this one here. It's 3D Orange Degreaser, and I dilute it at a ratio of 4 parts water to 1 part product. And I spray this on everything. It does a very good job at degreasing and removing very tough, stubborn stains, and I've never yet seen it tarnish painted surfaces yet. That being said, I am really careful and I never let it dwell or dry out for too long or let it sit in the sun. So this is the most powerful degreaser for the best price that I have found to this date, and I basically just stick with this one. That's all I basically need. And then if I have a really nice vehicle, like a expensive luxury vehicle with quality leather seats, maybe Alcantara, then I use something like this. This is P&S Express Interior Cleaner. It can be used on any surface in the interior. I think it's originally designed for leather and vinyl seats, and it works really well. It's super gentle. This basically doesn't tarnish any surfaces. It's just a soap. There's really nothing like high alkaline or acidic about this product. I believe it's just a soap. Really good. It has a great smell. These two products are basically all I need to clean the entire inside of a vehicle, combined with these tools here. And then I have a third chemical here that I don't use so often, but this is an enzyme. It's called Technician's Choice Do-All Enzyme Cleaner, and it is a very, very good smelling enzyme, and the price and the dilution ratio is very, very good for your pocket. So that's why I choose this one. And it smells awesome. It almost smells like this P&S Express Interior. I believe this smells sort of like cherry, and this also smells like cherry. So there you guys go. These are all the tools and products that I use on an interior detail, and that is how I do it. And I keep it super simple, basically nothing more than what you see there, even though some of the things there are quite expensive. Once you get past that original price, you know, you're locked in. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.